Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Eric, and welcome to The Explainer, where we dive deep into some really powerful ideas. So today, we're talking about a classic, game theory. And I know, it sounds kind of academic, but trust me, this is a way of thinking that can seriously change how you approach everything, from your job to your relationships.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a super simple problem. You've got 2 kids, 1 cake, and you can just feel a massive fight brewing, right? They both want the bigger piece, and neither trust the other to cut it fairly. So, what's the move?
And the solution is, well, it's just genius in its simplicity. You have one kid cut the cake, and the other kid gets to pick their piece first. Think about it. All of a sudden, the kid with the knife has this huge incentive to make that cut as perfectly 50-50 as possible, because they know if they don't, they're going to get stuck with a smaller piece. And that, in a nutshell, is the core of strategic thinking. It's what we call game theory. So how do we get good at this? Well, in this breakdown, that's exactly what we're going to do. First, we're going to look at some common traps that we all fall into. Then, we'll uncover the single most powerful strategic move you can learn. And finally, we'll get really practical and see how you can apply all this stuff in your actual life.
So, first up, what even is a game? And forget about video games or sports for a second. In game theory, a game is basically any situation where the result depends on the choices of more than one person. Anytime your best move depends on what you think someone else is going to do, you're in a game.
Now, this is a really important distinction. See, deciding if you should bring an umbrella, that's just a simple decision. You're betting against nature. The weather isn't trying to trick you. But a strategic game? That's totally different. That's you versus other players who are actively trying to anticipate your moves at the exact same time you're trying to anticipate theirs. To really see this in action, let's take a classic example and put it in a place we all know, the office. So imagine you and a coworker. We'll call him Alex. You both messed up on a big project. Your boss is not happy, and she calls you into separate offices to get the story. You have no way to talk to Alex. What do you do?
Okay, let's break this down. Take a look at the table. Let's say Alex stays silent. What's your best move? Well, you should confess. You get a $500 bonus and he takes the fall. Okay, now what if Alex confesses and blames you? Well, your best move is still to confess. Losing $3,000 is bad for sure, but it's a heck of a lot better than losing $5,000. So no matter what Alex does, it seems like confessing is the best choice for you. And here's the scary part. Alex is in the other room doing the exact same math.
So what happens? You both confess, and you both wind up losing $3,000. But hang on a minute. If you'd both just kept your mouths shut, you would have only lost $1,000 each. By logically pursuing your own self-interest, you both ended up with a much worse outcome. This is the famous paradox of the prisoner's dilemma. So how do you get out of this mess? The key is to change the game itself. This is why stuff like trust and reputation are so incredibly valuable. If you know you have to work with Alex again tomorrow and the next day and the day after that, the whole calculation changes. The shadow of the future, as they call it, makes you think twice. Your reputation for being a team player suddenly becomes way more valuable than any short-term gain you might get from throwing him under the bus.
Okay, so now that we can spot these games, let's talk about the single most powerful tool for winning them. This is the one big idea from the book that is an absolute game changer.
This is it. Look forward and reason backward. See, most of us live our lives moving forward in time. We think, okay, here's where I am, what should I do next? This flips that entire script. You start by imagining the end goal, the victory condition, and then you work your way backwards from there to figure out what you have to do right now to make that future a reality.
And here's a pretty wild historical example of this. Back in 1519, the Spanish explorer Cortés landed in Mexico to take on the entire Aztec Empire. His soldiers were terrified, and he knew that if things got tough, their first instinct would be to run back to the ships. So what did he do? He burned the ships. He literally destroyed their only escape route. He looked forward, saw that the only way to win was with 100% commitment, and reasoned backward to the one move he had to make: take retreat completely off the table. That is what's called a credible commitment.
So how does this work for you without, setting fire to your car? Let's say your goal is to get a promotion. That's step 3, the end goal. Okay, let's reason backward. To get that promotion, what probably needs to happen right before? You'll likely need to lead a really successful, visible project. That's step 2. Okay, and to get on that project, what do you need to do now? That's step 1, your action for today. Schedule a meeting with your boss and ask for that exact kind of opportunity. See that? A big, vague goal just turned into a clear, concrete action item. All right,
let's bring it all home. How can you start using these ideas in your actual day-to-day life, both at work and at home?
Okay, let's talk salary negotiation. The old way is just a tug-of-war over one number. It's a zero-sum game. For me to win, you have to lose. But a game theorist asks a different question. How can we make the pie bigger? You start introducing other variables. Maybe a bigger budget for training courses is more valuable to you than a small raise. Or maybe it's more flexible hours, or getting a lead on a passion project. By adding these things to the mix, you turn a fight into a creative problem-solving session where you can find a unique package that makes both sides feel like they won.
Or what about that game you play every single day against your future self? You know the one. It's called procrastination. Right now, present you wants to chill on the couch, but future you is going to be super stressed out by the deadline. So how do you win? You create a commitment contract. You set up a penalty for failure that is so painful, so immediate, that it forces you to act. Like, if I don't hit my goal, I have to donate $50 to a political party that I absolutely can't stand. You're basically making it more painful to fail than to just do the work.
And here's another one, a classic, the endless, draining debate over whose turn it is to do the dishes or take out the trash. This is a mini prisoner's dilemma, right? Both people feel like they're doing more, and neither one wants to be the one who gives in first. A really powerful game theory solution here is to just change the rules by introducing randomness. Instead of arguing, you flip a coin. The genius of this isn't just that it's fair, it's that it's final. It immediately ends the metagame of arguing about the chore, which is honestly usually more exhausting than the chore itself. You both agree to the system, and you save all that mental energy. It's a surprisingly effective way to break a stalemate. And actually, it's mem fumbiana, so I'd say give it a try.
Okay, let's pull all of this together into your new strategic playbook. We've gone from spotting these hidden games all around us to using some really powerful mental tools to navigate them.
So what are the big takeaways? First, just start noticing the games, the strategic interactions happening all around you. Second, always try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Think from their perspective. Third, master that power move, look forward to the finish line, then reason backward to what you need to do today. And finally, remember that you're not just stuck playing the game as it is, you often have the power to change the rules.
Ultimately, that's the big shift in mindset. Understanding these ideas takes you from being a pawn on the board, just reacting to things as they happen, to being a player, someone who can see the whole board, anticipate moves, and actually shape the outcome. And I think it's really important to say this isn't about being manipulative or tricking people. It's about understanding the logic of how people interact so you can make smarter, more thoughtful, and very often more cooperative choices that lead to better results for everyone.
So if you found this explainer on game theory useful, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe, and maybe share it with someone who you think could use it. And if there's another big idea or a book you want us to break down next, drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'm Eric, and I'll see you in the next one.